And we're back again. As you know, my name's King Fred. I don't think I need to introduce myself anymore because I think everybody, hopefully, has watched some of these already. But for those who don't know, by the day I'm a youth worker. I work at a place called Streetwise in Newcastle upon Tyne. And we started doing these favourite five sessions as a sort of like a coping mechanism for COVID to support each other. Me and a couple of friends who are AKA the Vinyl Vandals, which is me, my colleague here who will introduce himself in a minute, John and Julie. We just like to jump in cars and buses and in trains and fly around the country going to gigs from Scotland to London and everywhere in between. And we just decided to start, we always talk about who our favourite rappers are, why this album's better than that album, but then, you know, who's on that album, who produced it, who the guest, who steals the show on the album. We'll like to have all these discussions all the time. And we decided to just record one, which was Michael's, the first one. And it's just snowballed from there. So thanks for joining us. Obviously, if you've come again, it means you've enjoyed the other ones, and I hope you're enjoying this one. So next to me, he can introduce himself.
Hello, I'm Riddler. Resident DJ for the Vandals, record collector. I've got the radio show as well on Monday nights on Try Radio. And like Fred says, just an avid hip hop fan.
Nice one. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce our star guest tonight. I followed him for a long time. You know, he's had some sort of scene stealing shows on people's albums, and I've got one of his albums, and I've also got some of his collaborations albums with is it Keith Lawrence? Is it? Am I got that right? Keith Lawrence, yeah. With the Dark Horizons, I've got a couple of those albums, and also the Blacknificent 7, which also has some more of my UK hip hop heroes on as well. So without further ado, you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
All right, I go by the name of Seanie T, so salute.
Salute to you.
And all my peoples, all my hip hop heads, you know what I mean?
Nice one. So
We froze.
just to give the people out, you know, they should know who you are, but if they don't know who you are, do you want to give them a bit of your hip hop history and how you got in the game, a bit what we're talking about before we started recording, if you want to just say your place in the game?
Okay. All right. I got into the game. Originally, I'm a sound man, a reggae man. I'm born and grown on reggae music. You know what I mean? But a lot of my friends were into hip hop. You know what I mean? So that didn't stop us from being friends, obviously.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? And that's what kind of brought me into listening to hip hop, because there was real hip hop heads from the beginning, from the first day, Sugar Hill Gang, and everybody had rappers they liked back in the day. Yeah. You know, a lot of my friends were listening to like Hijack, Blade, Demon Boys. And you know what I mean, groups, hip hop groups like this from the UK. You know what I mean. So that was my introduction into it. And I actually toured in America on a play called Black Heroes in the Hall of Fame for 3 months. And then when I came back, I formed a group with a few of my friends, Capital G, Bree, and Daddy Slime. We had a group called the New Testament, and that was my first hip hop. Really, you know, we had tunes like Balimba. We was like a Leaders of the New School, a UK version of Leaders of the New School. You know what I mean? We're just crazy out there. Everybody at that time, everybody was militant. With Public Enemy was out at those times. Everybody was we gotta be and you know what I mean, intelligent hoodlum. You know what I mean? Arrest the president. He's the criminal. And we was like, I tell you what, let's chase some girls, smoke some greenery, and let's just have a laugh. And that's how we kind of came into the that's how I was introduced into hip hop, you know what I mean? Yeah. On that type of level. And then from there I met Blak Twang, Roots Manuva. He was in IQP at the time. Blak Twang wasn't even Blak Twang. Blak Twang was Split Decision.
Oh, okay. There's a bit of hip hop history for you. I didn't know that.
Okay. And we all met at a place called Monroe Studio on Holloway Road. Yeah, so nice. And that was my bringing into the hip hop.
Okay.
Early days.
So before we start, then, you've been on quite a few albums that I have, you know, or you've guested on anyway. Do you want to mention some of the albums that you've been on that people might know?
Do you know what? I'm absolutely not sure, but I know. It's funny thing, right? I record and I don't look back sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I know like Roots Manuva, Run Come Save Me.
Yeah.
Got a track called The Highest Grade, or Big Things of Highest Grade. I can't remember. And then I was on his second album. We done Big Things of Guan. It's that way around, or the other way around, something like this.
Yeah.
Done remixes with Roots. Then worked with Blak Twang on his album.
Love that track, by the way, on that album. Happening in England, is that the one? Yeah. Yeah. Love that track. Love that track.
Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of like I can't remember half the stuff that I done. I'm going to be honest with you.
Right.
I have to see a list.
Well, I'll tell you then. I know you've worked with Blak Twang. I know you've worked with Roots Manuva. I know you've worked with Karl Hinds, another favourite of mine. I know you've worked with Estelle. Yeah. So you're in some good company there. You know, that's off the top of my head. I'm probably, if I really think, there's probably some more lurking around. And obviously, I know that you did what was the thing you did a year or two ago, which was the Legends, with Ty on it as well. So you've worked with Ty.
Yeah, the
Veterans, yes.
Well, searching, like I can't remember some of the stuff. I know who I've worked with, like artists like Skeme, Florence, Bussin' True, or Going True, EP.
Yes.
My original DJ, my producer. Every time my phone Keith says, every time Keith Florence the phone, he say yes, my artist, and I say yes, my DJ. You know, that is my foundation. Keith Florence. I'll go anywhere and I shout his name. You know what I mean? Like from the moment me and Keith met, we met actually in Dublin doing a show. You know, we started talking because we're both from sound system vibes. So I used to follow Saxon, used to follow Coxsone sound. Yeah. So we was in the same places, but we didn't know each other. So when we actually met each other, we spoke. We was like, yeah, I was at that dance. Yeah, I was at that dance. So, and we've never, from that moment we met, I'm godfather to his son. That's how close me and Keith. So that's why I got love for Keith. You know what I mean? So just people like that. You know what I mean? So, when it comes to working with people, that's my thing. I enjoy, like, coming from a sound system background. Yeah. It was all about more than one artist. So Saxon, Hipper Irie, Philip Levy, Smiley Culture, Pete King, so that's kind of like, and then you had great sounds from Jamaica, like Kilimanjaro. They had like Burra Bantan, Early B, and everybody knows Burra, Burra Bantan, the non-stop. You know what I mean? That's one song he's released it about 10 different times. It worked every time. So I'm coming from that kind of background. So nice one. Me collaborating with many artists.
With all the many genres are, like sort of like subsections of hip hop. I love my ragamuffin hip hop. That's one of my favorite sections of hip hop. Anybody who knows us knows I love, that's how I get down. I love the ragamuffin hip hop, So when I heard the stuff coming out of the UK, especially like starting with London Posse, and then all the way through to you guys, and using that as your basis, as opposed to using sort of like the James Brown funky drummer. I love the James Brown funky drummer. I was brought up on James Brown. My dad's got all these records just about. But to hear the reggae stuff, I absolutely love that. You know what I mean? Absolutely love the ragamuffin hip hop stuff. So we'll talk a bit more about that. But we might as well get into it then. So
let's go.
You've got 5. This is your favorite 5, and it's your favorite 5. Which are we going USA or America? Do you want to tell everybody which one you're using?
Let's go UK. Let's start home. You know what I mean? They say dance a yard before you dance abroad. You know
nice. What I mean? Okay. Have you got them in any particular order, or are they just as they come?
Just as they come. You know what I mean? Like I was saying to you earlier, you know what I mean? It's so difficult. I really don't have a top 5 for everybody that's watching. Just name 5. Yeah. I'm going to say it that way. Because there's so many great artists. I feel sometimes it's a disservice to put one above the other, because everybody's got a great contribution to the music, to the culture. So I don't like putting one before the other. And we live in a society nowadays, it's very competitive, even though MCing is very competitive. It's branded up, I'm number 1 and I'm the best and I'm this and I'm that. So that's a bit contradictory what I'm saying, but as an overall, when you look at every artist and their contribution to the game, it's difficult to put one above the other.
That's fair enough. Yeah. Okay. So do you want to pick your first one?
Let's talk about my brother Roots Manuva.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been, what's the right word, privy to the creation of Roots Manuva.
Right.
I know Roots before he was signed. So all that stuff that he was working on his first album, second album, and that, we sat down in his flat over in Oval. You know what I mean? While he was creating that stuff.
Wow.
You know, so Witness and all those great songs, Dreamy or whatever. You know what I mean? I was there while he was doing little bits and pieces. You know what I mean? And,
nice one.
Vibes and energy. So Roots is a man that I think, to me, in the UK, one of the greatest. He's eccentric, I would say.
Very.
Eccentric.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
And he's so unique. And there's really actually nobody like Roots Manuva, I would say. There's no one. He produces. He's a fantastic producer. And if you really listen, he's one of the realest artists that we have. Because when you listen to his words, sometimes it just sounds like lyrics, but there is so much reality to what he's saying. So much. And he's like, okay, that line, okay, I understand that. I see where he's coming from. You know, okay, I see where you're coming from. And I'm not sure if everybody catches everything about him. People, I mean, he's got a fantastic fan base and people really love Roots. You know what I mean? But the reality of that, him as an artist is incredible. Absolutely incredible. And
I'd agree with you. I think I've got nearly every single album by him. I think there's one I haven't got that I need to get, and a couple of the remix albums. You know how he brings an album out and does a remix one. So I think I've got a couple of them to catch up on. But I love him. You know, and I think he transcends hip hop. It's on some other level. You know, is it hip hop? Is it sort of like, you know? Is it? I don't know. What is it? It's good. It's just good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, because he mixes so many different styles in there, and it just becomes like a gumbo, doesn't it? Like a stew, you know.
Roots Manuva used to be an engineer for reggae artists over in Angeltown, Brixton. I don't know if you know that.
No, I didn't know that, but you can tell. You can tell, though. Yeah.
He was the engineer. So when we used to go studio, they would be paying for him, like the artist would pay, and he would say, "All right, then, just come." And we do 2 hours off of their session. Like, so their session was supposed to finish at 10. They paid to 10, but he kicked them out at 8. And he said, Charlie, we just worked now from 8 till 10 quickly and put down some songs on their time, on their money. That's the kind of thing to do. But he's the kind of person, I think, he could say anything. He could say car, van, tick bum, Willie, and it would sound good. You know what I mean? So I find with him, he sits down on it. He's comfortable on so many different vibes, so many different.
So I find him to be like a very crossover artist, isn't he? He's a lot of indie kids like his style as well.
Oh yeah.
And he's always being played on Six Music, which is like basically it's an indie station, but it's a BBC station as well. But he's always being played on there, and he's really good. I mean, I've got his other early stuff with Skits, DJ Skits. And he's on some of them, and he's on some stuff with Rodney P as well. I think it's on the Ronin label. I think.
Okay, yeah. Did you know him from IQT when he was in that rap group?
No, never heard of it.
I've heard of that group. Yeah.
That's his original crew. That's his original.
Right. Never heard of that.
I might actually have a 12 by them. I'm sure I have.
And then he done Network, Queen's Head with.
Yes, I know that. Yes.
Right. Video. We're all in that video. Hill Street Soul. I don't know if you know Hill Street Soul, the soul singer. She's in that video. I'm in that video. There's so many of us. That was our first when we really all started to come together. Queen's Head. The Queen's Head. Yeah.
Yeah, but back to what you were saying about him being like a sound engineer, you can tell because obviously his music is always bass heavy, isn't it? You know what I mean? Your speakers vibrate when you listen to his tunes, definitely, you know.
His creation, his production, he just hears things. I tell you what, he is a UK Lee Scratch Perry. Yeah,
I would go with that. That's a fair enough,
He's in tune with the earth.
Yeah.
He finds sounds where people don't find. I've sat with him and he started one song and he's adding bits, and then it seems like it's going somewhere else, and you just stop, save that as a song, and then start creating with another song. And then that goes somewhere too far away from where he wants it. So he'll save that and he'll continue producing that. And in the end, he'll have 3 different songs and he'll say, that's the cousin and that's the brother.
Nice one.
It's a nice way to talk about it, that. Like, it's nice, that.
The creation process, like, I've never seen nothing like it. And sometimes we'd be up in his little flat. Can I talk?
Yeah, you just keep talking. Yeah.
About greenery. Can I talk about greenery? Because this is a ritual back in the day. We used to get a little jar of weed. We used to get some food from the Caribbean shop, right? Go back to his flat, and we would sit there. We'd have something to eat, and then we both bill a spliff, and we're talking and we're vibing. And you start doing a bit of production, and I start rocking to it, and I'll start writing a little. But then we could sit in the same room and not speak for 2 hours,
right?
Because he's doing him and I'm doing me. And the most we're going to talk is Pastor Islam. But and then you look, and then I would have written something, and then he would have a mad beat, and you know what I mean, and then he would just write to it, and I got some hidden gems. I've got stuff that hasn't even come out with me in Roots.
Cool.
From back in the day.
Nice. So we've got some stuff to look forward to in the future then.
I'm going to put one. I'm just getting ready to release my to launch my website. So I've got some exclusive little bits.
Nice. Okay. Give us a shout when that comes out, because I'd love to check that out.
Well.
So while we're on Roots Manuva, we need to kick back on track. It's your favourite 5. As we've now established, Roots Manuva's got a lot of albums. Which album are you going for? Which one?
The first one, Run Come Save.
Run Come Save We. Yeah.
It was the beginning of everything. I watched Rodney before he had a deal, to having a deal and excelling as an artist throughout the world, and so the creation process, we used to go to the studio, we had the rough demos, everything, and then in the studios, and then he's completing stuff, and he's like, what do you think? It's finished, and so I really enjoyed that album. I tell you the truth, there's not much stuff that he's done that I don't like.
Yeah, same here. So which song off that album is your favourite?
And you've only got to choose one. That's Fred's rule.
All right, hold on. Okay. Oh gosh, what's my favourites coming off of that? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm going to say, all right, let me just say what everybody else is saying. Let's say Witness.
Witness, okay.
Just say Witness. It's his biggest song. I could say...
The big track.
Yeah, I can't remember what song...
It's a massive track. It's not a big track. It's a massive track.
Yeah.
I'm sure I heard it on a TV advert yesterday. I'm positive I did.
Okay.
So, you might be getting paid more.
I even heard it on EastEnders once in the background down the market. They used to have like
It'll be Winston playing his tunes.
Well, one of the original actors from EastEnders was in a rap group, wasn't he?
That's right. Yeah.
Gary Beadle, is it?
I don't know. I haven't watched EastEnders for maybe 15, 20 years.
I mean, we're talking like one of the very first British rap groups ever.
Yeah.
Is it no City Limits Crew?
I'm not sure.
Did he not use a breakdance? Was it not? It was a
body breakdance as well, but he was a rapper.
Yeah. I'm
not sure.
Just to correct it as well, brand new Secondhand, his first album.
That's it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I tell you, I don't look back sometimes.
Yeah.
Brand new Secondhand. That's right, because he shot the video in an old, like this broken down place. It was really weird with the TV screen, and so I remember going to the video shoot and thinking, this looks kind of weird, but it works. So brand new Secondhand. Getting old, man. I'm getting old.
And then obviously he's also done like I think he did the first album. I don't think there's a dub one for that, but then after that he started doing like a dub one. So then you had Dub Come Save We or something like that, or Dub Come Save Me. Right. And then he had I come on with the other albums are called now. You had one Deep and then Awfully Deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Awfully Deeper or something like that. And then he kept on, and then you had
Rhyme and Reason or something like that.
Rhyme and Reason, and
Yes.
you had Duppy Writer. And
Yeah, that was the Wrong Tom's remixes.
Yes.
On a big up Wrong Tom, like really, I was amazed at the songs that he picked from Roots and put them on New Iridium.
Yeah, I've got that album, and I've also got the one we did with the Ragga Twins as well.
Yes,
yeah.
That's another one. That is another one. Like, big up Wrong Tom, man. Big
yeah. He's a dude. Like, okay, nice one. Okay, do you want to pick your next album?
Let's go Blak Twang.
Blak Twang. Okay, and which Blak Twang album are you going for?
What one did I say it was again?
I know which one you said, but
Network Southeast. I always remember having that on a cassette tape, the demo.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was like the Holy Grail, isn't it? Is that the one you couldn't get for ages? Is that the one?
Yeah. And then he re-released it, 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it that one? Is that one?
That's the 12. That's the 12.
12-inch.
Okay, yeah. Never eat shredded wheat in Network Southeast. Oi, it's just for my rude boys in London. We'll have in suburbs and inner city dungeons. That, listen, for me, Blak Twang, lyrically, is easily one of the best the UK has ever had.
I agree.
I Blak Twang against any brand new artist.
Any old school artist.
An old school.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, he stands tall.
He does, without a doubt.
I guarantee you. He is, lyrically, I kind of grew with, he's another person that I'm close with as well. Like, I'm godfather to his daughter.
They must trust you a lot.
Yeah. Real family vibe with everybody, you know? So, yeah, like, lyrically, sometimes I sit down and I watched him write and then spit a verse. I've been like, you might be my friend, but I'm also a fan.
Yeah.
And I can say it that way, you know what I mean? I'm a fan of him as a good friend.
I think for me, the interesting point is we always go on about, I think a lot of people always go on about, you know, and I've seen lots of different debates about the sort of like London posse and the, you know, spitting in the Cockney accent and the yard style. And they get credited for encouraging a lot of other people, but I would also put him up there as well. I don't think he gets that credit, you know, because it's his whole swag, everything about him, his style, you know, that kind of like, you know, even like when you look at the Kickoff album, when he's standing there, and I always say this, but I love it. I've got it somewhere across there somewhere, but he's got his sheepskin coat on, his Del Boy coat, you know, the hip hop geezer, you know what I mean? Standing there, goes to the football match. It's none of this basketball in American football stuff. It's we're in England, yeah. Back to the song that you have on the Kickoff, you know, finally it's happening in England. It's it's all of that. It's all of the imagery, you know, talking about Queen's Head as opposed to talking about dollars and cents. You know what I mean? All of that. I think it's the image. It's all that image for me that I love about them, you know?
He really set the tone, the vocal tone for ever UK artists to come in and be themselves. And really be themselves. You know, and that's what, you know what I mean? He would say like you lot. It's just real Cockney slang, like, oh, you lot, and he's like, yeah, you lot love this, and like, and it wasn't really done like that lyrically.
No.
Do you know? And he just took it to a next level. Yeah, like London Posse had it in a certain way, which we'll talk about in a bit, but he brought it into like, he took it to a next level of UK-ness. If that's a word, but we're creating right now, of UK-ness. He took it to another level, Blak Twang, you know what I mean? And lyrically, bad. And he's another producer. He produced on music, so yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I think it's in his DNA. I think it's, you know, it runs all the way through him. I mean, that Kickoff album, I also know, you know, my son, you know, when it came out, when it was out, my son loved it. He was just a little tot when I used to play it all the time in the car. And I think he got it because he was banging to his football, because of my dad and my cousins who are really into football. I mean, I like football, but they're really into football. And he loved all of it, from the blue and whistle of the Kickoff to all the stuff about Arsenal, where, you know, the skit on the train with Martin Keough and all of that. you just knew you were in England, and you know, all of that it's just all ingrained into all of the like the sort of like the DNA of him being the Cockney geezer from South London he's from, so Southwest London.
Yeah, from South Deptford, SCA.
Yeah. So just all of that, you can just tell all the way through that album with you and Karl Hinds on it as well, Lisa Jansen, Rodney P, all the way through. You know, I love that album. It's really good. It's clever.
You're reminding me of stuff. I tell you, that stuff is like, I haven't listened to it for so long. I have to go back and revamp myself. Yeah. I should have actually done it before I come on the show. but you know, like I said, lyrically, Blak Twang, easily, he's just got to be one of the GOATs.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
Totally agree with you.
Can't take
I think you can hear in a lot of MCs that came after him, I think you can hear him in them.
Yeah.
Because I've been listening to him today, obviously, for tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, you know what? There's a lot of MCs that sound like him that came after him.
Yeah.
So he is a big influence.
Yeah, definitely.
And imagery, like I say, like, you know, I'm not taking anything away from London Posse, you know, Sippo, Rodney P, Bionic, you know, that sound was great, all of that, you know, but I always credit Blak Twang for that whole sort of like Cockney swag. It was definitely there, you know what I mean? There is other ones as well, you know, I can talk about that a bit later on, but there's other UK artists as well. I think it's in the DNA. I'm always gutted that like the likes of Skeme and Big P and them, what they call them, Sterling Kalat, didn't do a proper album. I'm still waiting for them to do an album. So you know, because they had it as well. They had something about them as well. You know, all of that stuff about the clothes they wear and mocking Jay-Z, all of that. That's something that I level anyway.
Yeah, but like Skeme is one of my greatest friends in music.
Oh, right, nice one.
Definitely.
Okay. You've got some good friends. You've got some good company of friends there, I tell you.
Yeah.
They're all my musical, you know, go-to people, definitely, that you're mentioning. They're all the people, like, you know, I've got lots of their stuff, lots of their albums.
Yeah, Mickle was their producer.
Cool.
Remember Mickle used to do all their production and everything as well.
Yeah.
So, Big P. Like,
I think with Blak Twang as well, he's got a good sort of like pop crossover as well with a couple of his records, like the one with Estelle, and then you got So Rotten.
Yes.
You know, because
I agree with you, Michael, but I think it's without trying, so he's not. It's
Did you get that?
Yeah.
Go on, brother. Go on, talk.
Yeah, I understand that one. Yeah, it's just when I was listening to them, I thought, really, really. I think if he sort of brought some of them out now, I think he would be given. I mean, is the biggest rapper in the UK Stormzy at the minute?
One of them, yeah.
I think you could give him a run for his money.
Easily.
I think.
Yeah, let's say easily. Blak Twang's body of work is immense.
Yeah.
Catalogue is immense. You know, you talk about crossover. You remember Perfect Love Song with Lynn and David Hall?
No.
You don't know that song? I will send you the video link to it.
Okay. Nice one.
That song, and I'll tell you why you don't really know that song. That song done so well, it caused problems for Lyndon David Hall's label, which was EMI, because Lyndon David Hall done Sexy Cinderella. Remember that song? Sexy Cinderella.
Yeah.
So they used part of that for Blak Twang's song, which was Perfect Love Song. Yeah. Now, the original song, Blak Twang sampled 10cc. Not in love.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they can get sample clearance, so they put, or something like that. He will explain it properly when you talk to him. So he got Lyndon David Hall to sing the hook. It's a fantastic song, fantastic. It's got it's like an R&B kind of song.
Yeah.
You know? And it caused quite a few problems where they had to put back, I think if I can remember correctly, they had to push back the release of David Lyndon's Hall album because of that song. And then should we take that and put it on his single? And it was just a whole leap of...
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the end, I just really thought they was just fighting against Blak Twang because they really didn't have... He wasn't their artist.
Yeah.
So they're not going to promote him with their biggest artist and they're not really going to gain anything from him. But
Yeah.
Tony, when you talk to Tony, he'll be able to break that story down a lot
Yeah.
better. You know, I'm just paraphrasing really.
Nice one. Okay.
So, what's your favourite song off Network Southeast then?
Keep us right, Michael.
I tell you what, I want to do me a favour. Tell me some of the tracks off of it.
Off.
Where we got what we got here?
1 second.
It's just a wow.
Of course, you got the title track. Network Southeast.
Yeah, banger.
Don't let them fool you.
Oh, don't let them fool you. Wicked song.
Good one.
I don't even know. Let's just call it the title track, Network Southeast, the one in the video with the taxi.
Yeah.
Love that song. You know what I mean? Represented that really us in the UK for real.
Okay, nice one. Shall we move on to album number 3 and rapper number 3?
Ty, my brother, rest in peace, my brother Ty.
Yeah.
Ty is a man. I've known Ty longer than I've known absolutely everybody in hip hop in the UK. That's the first person I absolutely met in Ilford 30 years ago or more.
How come it was in Ilford all the way down in East London?
Because there was a venue called The Island and I was working there doing promotions. And so a bridging of mine knew Ty and he went, oh, it'd be good to link you up. Like, and another guy, and he's passed away as well. That's my best friend from school, Gary Hinds, R.I.P. Gary Hinds, aka Flip Rock, aka Banner Dave. You know what I mean? He linked me with Ty and said, yeah, I got this, I know a good guy from over Brixton side. You should just talk.
Yeah.
And that was it. And Ty came over and we sat down and we spoke about hip hop and music and we just became friends from there. We became friends from there, you know, and you know, everything I've done, Ty's been on it. All my projects that involves people, you know what I mean, like Dark Horizons and everything.
Yeah.
I've done shows and all these types of things. And Ty's always somebody that I can, at the end of the phone, that I can call, and he's called me. Because as you know, we got collaborations. We done Baby Love was the last song that, Veterans. But before that, we done Baby Love. Remember Baby? I don't know if you got Baby Love. Baby Love. Yeah. So that was, you know what I mean? That was one of the last songs that we done together. And then the Veteran thing was the very last song that we recorded together.
Okay.
Little story, Ty's album, Awkward, is my favourite album.
Awkward.
And,
okay.
Yeah. And what happened with Awkward was, I love that album so much. I played it in the maternity room when my son was being born. So my son, my middle boy, was born to Ty's music, to his album. Because I thought, for me, the vibes and the energy, that he's our UK De La Soul Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
He's got that energy, that vibe. It's such a great, refreshing vibe, different on all levels to me. You know what I mean? Quite sometimes, if you listen to him, you can hear a little roots maneuver in him. You know, to listen to him, you can hear a little bit of roots in him. You know, that's what I have always thought. But he's very unique to himself as well. And that was one album that I put on every time somebody came around. When you have guests, if you want to play some hip hop, decent hip hop, without the whole heap of bangarang, swearing, and
yeah, I agree.
I always play.
Yeah.
I mean that whole album. I would just put it on anytime we got visitors. Just put it on in the background. Beautiful album to play. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
It's a funny one because obviously since lockdown and you know, spending a lot of time in the garden with the weather beans nights, and living where I live, you know, you want to play music, but then nobody, like you say, nobody wants to hear boom, 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 this and that. You know what I mean? And you've got children all around and stuff like that, and you've got, you know, I've got my wife's family coming around, and my family are used to what I play, but you don't always want all of the stuff that my wife's family don't want to hear all the stuff that I'm playing. And when you're having a party or a barbecue or something like that, you want to be able to play stuff that isn't really going to offend, but at the same time is cool. And you know, I'm not really a soul dude. You know, I'm an old soul dude, but I'm not into all this R&B stuff. You know, I can't stand the newer stuff. So I play Thai, and I've been playing a lot of Thai. And, you know, interestingly enough, because last year I went down to London and, you know, we went down to see Sonic, and, you know, not going to keep on going on about it, but it didn't happen. You know, they didn't turn up. Two of them turned up. One of them looked like a fake imposter. And the next day I stayed in London because of my family. These guys, the rest of the Vandals went home, and I went to see my mum, who incidentally died a few days later after I went down to see her. But I was in Brixton, and I went to Pure Vinyl, and there's Ty sitting in the corner there, and he'd just been up to Newcastle with the Kingdom, and he recognised him. We're talking, and he said, "Right, where you going?" I said, "Oh, I'm just going, leaving now." He said, "No, you're staying with me." And he took us around Brixton, introducing us to people, and, you know, we went for something to eat. We went to the chip shop, introduced us to Elder Sensi and Sadat X, you know, Mac J, another rapper that is trying to come up in Brixton and stuff as well. All these different people, Skinnyman, I met them all through him. He's just saying, you know, like, you know, you need to meet this one, you need to meet this one. The stuff that you're doing down in Newcastle, because we'll try and put shows down in Newcastle and stuff as well. He was just introducing everybody. I just think his whole sort of vibe is just like, it's positive. It was positive. Do you know what I mean? His whole sort of like, for me, you know, you know, not that I knew him very well, but what I did know of him and talking to him also on social media, it's just very, very positive, and just always wanting to make sure that you're okay and stuff like that, you know. So, you know, definitely good vibes off him.
Yeah, he was doing a night called Pass the Torch, and I performed there. It must have been last year now. Yeah, last year now.
Right.
Know? And he's been such an active figure. You know, if you look back to my first song, SOS, the video, you'll see Ty in there.
Right.
You know, and the one beautiful thing about Ty is, like you said, he's such a helpful person.
Yeah.
He was like, make sure this is happening, make sure, because videos that I've shot, I've actually shot them myself and been in them as well, directing, you know what I mean? And when I was doing like the SOS video, I had a dance group, I had a lot of people come down. It was like a long day's video shoot, you know what I mean? So I cooked food for everybody as well. I had to do catering as well. So in between, when we took the lunch break, I put on an apron, I was serving people. And Ty was like, "You should be filming this, brother. You should be filming this." You know, but he was like, you know, he seen that I'm doing things, you know what I mean? I'm doing so much, and he just jumps on and says, "Look, let me just take over that. Make sure you film this, do this. You know, and especially in the veteran video as well. I got to give props to him for the veteran, because like when I was filming, we was still doing some recordings of the song, as well as filming, as well as recording vocals. It all happened at the same time, as you can see in the video. And he saw I was busy, and he's like going to the video guy and saying to him, like, "Make sure you got this, make sure you got this shot, shoot this, shoot that, shoot this, shoot that, Shawnee, make sure." And it's not like he was getting beyond himself or sitting on my toes. He was making sure we captured everything that he could see, because he really, really appreciated the day. Yeah. Because he wrote before he came to the studio. And when he came to the studio, he changed, because his energy, the vibe, everybody was in there at once. And he was like, "I'm rewriting my thing," you know what I mean? So he wrote, oh man, you know, I haven't been able to talk about Ty for a minute, because, you know, when he first died, I felt like I could handle it. But then, you know, his birthday came every day, and so much. This is the most I've spoken about him in recent times, because
I appreciate that.
You know,
respect.
Yeah, I find it so hard. I miss that dude. I miss just phoning him up and say, "Ty," you know, that it's a phone call. You know, I still got all the messages that we've sent over the years on my phone still. You know what I mean? Yeah. And just like foolishness, or him like when I released my last album, Rough, Rugged and Smooth, he phoned me and said, "I want to do this for you. I love your album. Send me this, send me that. I want to send it here, and I want to send it there, and I want to do this for you." You know what I mean? That's incredible. You know what I mean? He made sure that people heard it. He made sure that everywhere he went, he spoke about it. Like, that's an incredible friend. You know, I miss him dearly.
You know what I was saying before, for me, is without a doubt, is that definitely is like, you know, like you said, playing his music. So obviously, because of like me going out to London and not meeting them, and then, you know, me going to see my mum, and then, you know, within that week, I think I seen him on the Thursday or the Friday or something, and then by the Monday, my mum had passed away. So it always, obviously, his music reminds me of my mum in a sort of roundabout, even though she would have hated it, because she only liked church music. But just that kind of like, you know, so being in the garden over the summer and being able to play the music, and I've appreciated it in a different way, because as I've got older, I always say this, but my music tastes have changed. I don't want to hear, I love my reggae hip hop stuff. I love my, you know, my banging sort of hip hop, fast beats. You know, I do a lot of training, and I love that kind of music to go along with my training. You know, however, when you want to just mellow out and just, you know, especially all the stuff and your mental health stretching you to the limits, you need some kind of music that'll sort of chill you out, and his music chills you out. My only thing is the album you picked, I prefer the next album, which is Upwards. I prefer that album to Awkward, you know, but Awkward's still a good album, you know.
Yeah.
Such a good live performer as well.
Yes. Yeah.
When we seen him because he came up with the Kingdom tour.
Yeah.
To Newcastle, and it was just an amazing night. A great show, honestly.
Yeah.
Great as you said, I'm so glad you said that, Mike. Because I used to call him Black King Cole. He's the UK Nat King Cole. He's and I stand up there and I've watched him host. Nice, respect. Yeah, I watched him host. I've been I can't even remember this. So 30 years friendship. So the amount of shows we've been to, and I watched him host shows at Subterranea with 279 and Cutmaster Swift and all that. He used to like host the shows for live acts. Ty's done a lot of hosting. He done a hosting for when Five Dog passed away. His cousin was over in England and they done a special tribute to him in Brixton. Ty hosted that, and he's just, I can just stand up there and just watch him perform as my friend. Like I said, these are my friends, but I'm a fan because you move me musically. You absolutely musically, you move me. And I stand up there and I really appreciate, for me, there's different elements to an artist. And you can go in a studio. You can punch in, you can punch out, right? You can make anything sound good, but can you replicate it on stage live? And Ty can.
Yeah. Definitely agree with that. Yeah. Definitely.
Nice one. So,
of course, we have to ask, what's your favourite song off the album?
Yeah.
Your song. Oh, yes, you are.
Yeah.
You did it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that. So, yeah, man, I love that song.
What was the song? Sorry, it broke up here. The internet went a bit funny. What song did you say there?
Your song. I hope I'm getting that right.
Your song.
Yeah. Yours.
Yeah, it's on that. Yeah. It's on that album.
I done a tribute to Ty when he was ill in hospital. People was doing like video shouts, and I actually used that backing track. And you know what I mean? I did not think he was going to pass away. So people was recording messages to put on him while he was coma and things like that, and the headphones and playing recorded messages just to see, you know what I mean? I can't find the right words.
Yeah.
But I recorded like I used that rhythm, and I just done a collage. Like I name checked a lot of his songs from that album as a lyric. 16 bars. I wrote a lyric, 16 bars, and I put all the titles of different songs put together. And I thought, when my brother hears this, he must get better soon.
Yeah.
And I really genuinely believe that. And to hear that he passed away, just devastation for me. Devastation, you know. So all I can say is R.I.P. man.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
He did not get what he was due. He got more death than when he was alive.
Facts. Sadly true. Yeah.
And I started to do a little thing when he was alive. This was like over a year ago. I was doing a thing on Facebook on my page called Salute Series. So I was just writing a tribute to each artist, and Ty was one of the first ones I started with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Ty knows how I felt because he's my brother. So I tell you, while you're alive, to your face, I love you, bro.
Yeah.
I don't need for me to be crying over your coffee and telling you I love you and telling everybody else. Why am I telling everybody else?
Yeah.
I tell you while you're standing and you're looking at me in my eyes that I appreciate you as a human being, as a person, as a friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's one thing that I'm kind of pleased that Ty knows exactly what was in my heart for him.
Yeah.
And I can, you know, I can live with that comfort.
Yeah.
You know, R.I.P.
Respect.
Ty.
Respect.
Yeah, respect. Definitely.
Okay. Obviously, we're still going to move on. So, but thanks for sharing your heart with us there, because you know it's well, yeah, respect. So, we'll just take a bit of an interlude from the album to talk a bit about your music and what you've done, because I think it's important that people know your history in it. I know you touched on some of it earlier on. So I've got this here that I've just hunted out. Like I say, I've got box loads of CDs, box loads. And obviously you can see I've got albums in 12 inches there as well. I've got a big chest full of CDs to the brim. And that's one of the ones that I've found. But I know I've got Dark Horizon, and I think I've got Dark Horizon 2 as well. There is a Dark Horizon 2, isn't there? Yeah.
So did you get the part 1 on the cassette?
What's that, sorry?
Part 1 is on the cassette.
No, I've got it on CD. I'm sure I've got 2 Dark Horizons on CD.
We're talking about part 2. I never ever put it out on any other format apart from cassette.
Cassette.
Part.
All right.
Yeah.
So I've got this. I've got Dark Horizon. What's the other thing then that must be similar to it in that?
Maybe you got maybe not the Black Magnificent 7 now. No, you got that in your hand. Sorry, what am I talking about?
Yeah, maybe I've got this. Maybe this is a sample, and I've got a Black Magnificent 7 like proper CD. So I've definitely got 2 cases, like 2 proper cases that are linked together. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're thinking about.
Okay.
The original, that's going to be available on my website, SeanieT.com.
Okay. Is it going to be available in hard copies like CD and vinyl?
You download it. You'll be able to download it.
No. We don't live with air.
I have a limited edition, only 10 copies left, or less than that now, of Dark Horizon Part 1 on cassette.
On cassette?
Original, yeah,
okay.
On the cassette.
We'll talk after this, because I'll stretch as far as cassette, CD or vinyl, but I'm not having anything that's in the air. I can't be dealing with just
Okay.
If it's in the air, it's never happened.
Okay.
I only play air stuff in my car, and I've succumbed to Spotify in the car. That's the only time I'll play it. Or sometimes in the bath. But no, I have to have my standards. Yeah.
And it says here on Discogs, because I'm just looking over, that Veterans is on a 10-inch. Is that available? On a 10-inch single?
So that it was a limited edition.
Ah, man.
That sold out immediately. I'm not sure. I can check to see if there's anything, but I don't. But I just about got.
If you've got any stuff that you've got on vinyl, please let us know. Yeah.
I've got singles of Here Comes the Blak from the Black Magnificent 7 album. You What? I don't know if you got these on vinyl. I've got that vinyl, and I've got a test pressing. of, I'm sure it's the album on white label.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So this
after this we will talk, because yeah. So do you want to for those who don't know, just a bit of hip hop history for people that don't know, who are the Black Magnificent 7?
The Black Magnificent 7 is Rodney P, Karl Hinds, Skeme, Estelle, and new artist called Jeffrey at the time.
Yeah.
Myself. 6. Oh my word.
And QD something or other?
Roots Manuva. Oh my goodness.
Was there not somebody called Q something or other?
No, there's a song on there that I know that we got a feature. There's a feature on there.
Right.
There's a feature on there. Oh gosh, Riddler, I think his name was at the time, with Roots. Let me tell you how that album came about.
Yeah.
The album came about originally. I was working in Germany, in Hamburg, working for a label called Einsbusch, and I was doing a licensing deal. We was going to do a licensing album for them out there. So I was collecting a few tracks from the artist, you know what I mean? And then I was just going to do one posse cut and license it.
Yeah.
And they would call that would have come out via Ironsbush and EMI for Europe. The label folded. So I was left with a great posse cut and some material.
Yeah.
So Karl Hinds, we sat down, me and Karl Hinds, and Karl was like, still put it out. And we decided, yeah, let's just voice some more songs and turn it into an album. Now, the last thing that came was the name of the album. And it's just that we're into, like, you know, growing up as a Caribbean, you're into your Kung Fu, you're into your Westerns.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? And my dad's like John Wayne and Audie Murphy, and you know what I mean? My dad, you know what I mean? Yul Brynner, Magnificent Seven. That was my dad's thing. So you grew up watching like Westerns. And so there was just 7 of us. So a little bit of wordplay, we called it the Black Magnificent Seven. That was, it came last.
Okay.
And then we recorded the track Stay Black, and I had recorded a song with Masta Ace for somebody, and me and Masta Ace got on really well. And Ace said, I'll be on that album if you want me to.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
That's how I got Masta Ace on
Now
that.
you got Masta Ace on that. Yeah, I've just been listening to it before there. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you know, and so that was that album. A little bit more about myself. So then before that, I had just done the Dark Horizon. Well, I actually done Dark Horizon and Black Magnificent Seven at the same time.
Yeah.
It was so much at the same time to do. So I put down the Black Magnificent Seven, finished the Dark Horizon, and then went back over and started working. I was working on both at the same time in the studio. It was really like, I don't want to swear, but you know what I mean? It was a mindfuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Doing all that work. It was really, really a lot. You know what I mean? So, So we done the Dark Horizon Part 2. And when I voiced the Dark Horizons, I tried to get everybody in the studio at the same time.
Yeah.
And there's 36 artists on Dark Horizon.
How many?
36 UK artists. So,
Skinnyman.
Skinny, Task Force, Skeme, Big P, Extremist, Creed, Roots, Twang, you know, all the usual suspects, you know, like we call them, you know. But the thing is, I want everybody. Pesci, big up Pesci, I've got to big up Pesci as a lyricist, you know. Look, the energy that you get when you put artists together and good music, you just leave them to it. It's just like throwing meat to hungry lions. you understand? Yeah. They fight in the right way so everybody can eat. You know what I mean? They come together in the right way, I find. You know what I mean? All you really do, and this is how I do my sessions, I make sure that I cook some food, I bring some alcohol, and I bring some weed. 2 types of weed. And so everybody can get fed, everybody has a drink, and everybody can bun a little ziggy. You understand? And then you've got the beats banging. Now just do what you do. And because you're meeting artists and artists all link up, wow, I've never met him before, but I know of him. You know what I mean? You form friendships and you form bonds. You know what I mean? And that just brings an energy. That should bring an energy. If you're an artist and I'm an artist and we've got a rhythm that we both like, it's simple. So it was about creating itself. You know what I mean? That's why you put 5 artists on 1 dub. So you haven't even heard the fullness of it because everything was cut on acetapes, on dub plates itself. You know what I mean? And then mixed in the studio live. Never mixed off of MPs or anything like that. You know what I mean? Keith Lawrence mixed the Dark Part 2 on dub plates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice one. So, wow, that's some nice history to hear there because I remember, I think I went into RPM Records, which is a record shop we have in Newcastle. Shout out to Marek, Rich in Craig. And it was Rich who said, "Oh, Fred, I've got something that you will like." And I think he gave us this first. I think it was round it was. It might have been this. Oh, it was Dark Horizons anyway, which way round it was. And I was like, "Whoa, what's this?" He says, "You'll like this," because he knows I like my sort of like my ragamuffin hip hop stuff, you know. Talking to him, I was like, "Whoa, I like this." I remember having to go to London to get some of it because I couldn't get it up here, you know what I mean? Because a lot of stuff you can't get up here. So as soon as I hit Brixton, as soon as I got off the train at King's Cross, got the tube to Brixton, or straight across the road in Red Records, sniffing around looking for what I could get, you know? And I've just been following you ever since, really, because of that, you know what I mean? Because I knew it had people like, obviously, I already knew Blak, I always knew Rodney P. And then that turned us on to, like, you know, like, obviously, Skeme, and all of that kind of, like, Sterling Kalat. And then obviously Estelle, and you know, obviously the Sterling Kalat album, Sterling is a Currency, which I love. But I've always been waiting. I was saying before, I've always been waiting for a Sterling album. I'm always pestering Skeme and saying, "Where's this album?" But obviously, it'll probably not, I know it's not going to happen now. But I just think it's a shame, you know.
Do you know what? He's got so much material, so much great songs. He's even got a song with 50 Cent.
Right. Whoa.
He hasn't put it out. He's Skeme to me. Skeme is the blueprint of many artists in the UK today. The road talk. He had street talk. And I always say one of the reasons why Skeme never didn't really get to the level he was supposed to, because he was too real. He was ahead of his time with street talk, and he used to frighten the shit out of people.
Yeah.
And this is him being real. Skeme's not a horrible person. He's one of the most genuine, nice people. He doesn't suffer fools. Don't get me wrong, you know. But he's such a genuine person, and he's a good person. But he's real, and so he's the blueprint for many of those artists that talk street talk nowadays.
Yeah. I was just going to say, you know, when you look at Giggs, Giggs ran with it. I don't know if Giggs even knows who Skeme is, but you can definitely see, like, you know, you can see Skeme in Giggs. Yeah. Well, you know, but no disrespect to Giggs, but Skeme's got much more flow than Giggs has got. But yeah, I can still definitely see that sort of like that street swagger, you know.
Yeah.
And all the talk about the clothes, you know, the Visu jeans and all of that, and talking about how Jay-Z came here and stole his style and took it back with him and all of that. It's just classic, you know. It's just really, really good. I advise anybody who never really heard of Sterling Kalat, or any of Skeme stuff, like, is it Turning, and the stuff with Big P, Dirty, and Estelle. You need to check it out. An Extremist as well.
Sorry, Fred. It froze completely there for about 30 seconds.
All right, sorry. Yeah, I'm just saying, anybody out there who's listening to this who doesn't really know what we're talking about, you need to go and Google Skeme. You need to Google Sterling Kalat, Estelle, the stuff Estelle did before she was Estelle, as we know her now. Big P, Dirty, and just, you know, the Extremists, all of the stuff that they've been on, all the stuff that they've been on, Maroon, all of that.
Skeme actually introduced Estelle to everybody.
Yeah, okay.
Skeme, the man. I heard of Estelle. I knew Estelle when she done. I'm not sure if it was the track that she was domestic something with Misread. Was it Misread? I'm not sure if it's Misread from Nottingham.
Okay.
And see, there's 3 females on it. I can't remember the name. Such a long time ago. But anyway, Skeme. It was produced by Skits. That song.
Yeah.
Domestic Science, isn't it? I'm sure it's called that. I can't remember the other artist, but Skeme brought Estelle to my attention. Oh, I knew her, but he brought her to the first Dark Horizon Part 1.
Right.
She came to the studio with Skeme.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, that was big for me. That was big for me. You know what I mean? And Skeme is a man. I actually met Skeme same way in the studio on Holloway Road, Monroe Studio, when we done the Shush remix with Skinnyman, Skeme, myself, Danny Vicious, aka Fallacy. You know, and Blak Twang.
Oh yeah, Fallacy as well. I should have mentioned Fallacy as well. Yes.
Big fouls, big dirty stinking fouls.
Nice one.
So
cool. Okay, back to the albums. What's next?
Let's talk about a little bit about the Demon Boys. This is where my knowledge starts to fade. A little bit, being real with you. I chose Recognition Demon Boys because everybody I knew had it.
Yeah.
Everybody I knew had it. And I actually thought there was a group that was created by Demon Rockers, who is one of the Ragga Twins.
Ragga Twins, yeah.
Yeah. So Demon Rockers and Flinty, they come from a sound system called Unity Hi-Fi.
Yeah.
Out of North London. Big up Ribs, you know what I mean, and the rest of the Unity crew, you know what I mean. So I knew Demon Rockers. So when I heard Demon Boys, I actually thought he created. I thought he created, but he didn't. But everybody had that album that I knew in hip hop.
Yeah,
you know I mean, big song, big album, very big album. You know what I mean? When I traveled into Europe, everybody knew the Demon Boys.
Yeah,
everybody. Anybody, we call it brickcore when you leave England and you go to Amber.
Yeah.
Yeah, brickcore. They love it. The Blaze, the Hijacks, the Demon Boys, London Posses. You know what I mean? The Son of Noise. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They love that. Now that was a little. I was really on the peripheral. I'm on the edge when it comes to those. I just saw those great albums, and if I can look back in time, I know those albums are great because if it's not, everybody had it. Everybody had it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I do have a dub plate from, what's the two guys' names from Demon Boys?
Mike J.
Demon D and Mike J. Yeah.
Mike J. He done me a dub for Dark Horizon on a
What's
dance.
the DJ called? The Devastate.
DJ Devastate, yeah.
Yeah. He done me, rah, everybody get up and move. Rah, Dark Horizon get up and move.
I mean, Spectrum City or something, that album, yeah. When he,
that's right.
Yeah. Dogs and Sledges, that's the song.
Yes, that's it's cool. My Dogs and Sledges, yeah.
It's a tune, right. Absolute tune.
Yeah,
that's when he changed his name to Million Dan.
Million Dan.
That's it. That's what I got him as Million Dan. That's why I know Million Dan. But I seen him perform. He's really good. Yeah. He's not even a little bit good.
Yeah.
You know, bro. You get it. Respect. So, you know, my knowledge ain't that deep. I just know that's a great album because everybody was bang on that. You know what I mean? And did I listen to it? Of course I listened to it at the time. You know what I mean? And I was like, wow, I love this kind of like, it's right down my street, what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, really. So I really got big up the Demon Boys for their contribution to the UK scene.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, we're talking about that. Obviously, the second album, obviously the direction changed a little bit, and it was the start of what we now know as like, sort of jungle, wasn't it? You know, and so you know, that kind of back to your kind of sound system style, kind of the ragga. Do you know what I mean? The ragga, you know. And obviously, as we know him now as Million Dan, but you could definitely hear that kind of, you know. And I know at the time they were doing it with Mike West, aka Rebel MC, weren't they? You know that he was doing stuff.
Big up Rebel. You know what I mean? That's a good guy. Met along the way. Big him up. You know
Congo and Natty, Conquering Lion. Yeah. Nice one.
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
You know what question? You know it now. Which is the song off the album that you like?
I'm just gonna go Recognition.
Okay. Recognition.
Is that right?
I mean,
that's right.
Yeah. I mean, I remember first seeing the Demon Boys. They were on something called the Ensign Rap Show, and Westwood was the host. And they done 2 live songs, and like you say, they had these
click suits.
Brown. No. Well, actually, they did. Obviously, as a trousers, but they had these big, like, flying jacket things on with big, bushy collars. Oh, they were great. And they done North Side, which is amazing. Yeah. And they done Rougher Than an Animal. And they're my 2 favourites off there. They're really, really good, them two, like.
Yeah. Okay.
But then when they switched up the style to the faster on Original Guidance, the second album. I mean, I thought when I first heard it, I thought, I don't know if I like it. It sounds a little bit too much like a ravey sort of.
Yeah.
But when you stopped and you listen to it and you think, no, this is really good. Really good.
Yeah, the performance, like I said, I really like live. I rate artists by their live shows, you know, and anybody can go in the studio, you know, just look at the Spice Girls, man. Come on, man. You know what I mean? Look, they went in the studio without talent and came out with reasonably sounding well songs for their genre, for their you know, their marketplace. But it's about live, and Demon Boys, fantastic. Fantastic.
Well, there's not many can they? You know, I mean, there's plenty of people can sing or rap or play an instrument, but there's not many people can hold an audience or take an audience on a journey. And, you know, some of these guys that we're talking about, that's exactly what they do. You know what I mean? You leave a show afterwards, and you know you haven't been cheated. You've got your money's worth because you've been, you know, it doesn't always mean that you have to jump up and down, but you know, you want to be able to that they command the stage and they care about their audience. You know.
Yeah, definitely. You got to engage the audience. I mean, it's so important that you engage the audience.
Yeah.
You know, that's one thing that I learned many years ago when I toured in America.
Yeah.
You know, I was in a musical play. You know, so when the choreographer was just like, make sure you keep your chin up so the people at the back can see you.
Yeah.
You can't just perform down to the people at the front. Let the back need to see you. The people up there need to see you. You know what I mean? And so there's just ways of making eye contact and engaging people, you know? Yeah. And that's exactly, you know what I mean? That's Demon Boys done that really well.
Great. Okay. Excellent.
All right.
Last album. Here we go. What's your last album?
Gangster Chronicles.
Woo!
The Foundation. Big up Rodney P. Big up Barnick. Especially, I know Barnick. Don't get me wrong. We've met a few times, but I know Rodney P.
Yeah.
So I can say our children play together and things like that. You know what I mean? And plus we work together in the Dub Pistols.
Yeah.
So, me and Rodney are really quite close. You know what I mean? And like, you know, he's on everything I've done.
Yeah.
He's on everything I've done. You know what I mean? Yeah. I had to include him because his contribution to the UK hip hop scene is immense. Yeah. I call him the Godfather. I'm going to say this. I called him the Godfather on Dark Horizon Part 1. I don't know if anybody called him the Godfather back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I might have coined that. I might take responsibility for that one. But
yeah, you take the credit.
But he deserves it. Not for what I'm saying, it's for what he's done.
Yeah.
You know, and great lyricist. Rodney P is another person that can say anything. He's like Roots Manuva. He can say anything, and to me, it sounds good. You know what I mean? We got the rhythm, killer vibes. We got an inner. You know what I mean? Anything that he says to me, it. You know, we done a track. We recorded a song last year that hasn't come out yet. Banger! I can't wait for it to come out. It should come out on Nice Up Records. You know, I can't remember the name of the producer, but it's always a pleasure working with Rodney P.
So is that an exclusive? Do you think it's coming out on his new album? Do you think he's bringing an album?
No, but I can tell you this. I've heard his new album.
Woo! Lucky you.
I'm jealous.
Nice.
No, like as an artist, like if an artist is real, they'll tell you they'll hear something and they'll say, boy, I really wish I'd done that. Yeah. Or they'll try to squeeze on a remix. They try, remix some bars. They just want to be part. I listened to Rodney P's album. Oh my goodness. He has got some bangers on there. He has got bangers and no mash. Just straight bangers. You're going to really, really love it. You're going to love his album. And the funny thing is, I played in my album, The Rough, Rugged and Smooth, and he played me his album. And we come from the same place. We walk the same streets almost. So there's similarities, but there's such a big difference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But there's similarities, you know what I mean? The ragga hip-hop style, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look out for his new album. When it drops, it's supposed to make the most noise on the planet. You know what I mean? It really, yeah.
Good stuff. I'm looking forward to that because, you know, we haven't been able to go to gigs this year. Yeah. Since February, we haven't been anywhere. And then on top of that, you know, there's not much music coming out, it seems, as well, because I think everybody seems to be sitting on this stuff because they know they can't tour it and they want to be able to sort of like tour it. So there isn't much getting released, which is, you know, which I understand, but it just means people like us, although you would think of, you know, looking at his records, my records, I'm sure you've got lots, you'd think we've got enough records, but we always want more. We're greedy.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely greedy for more music. It makes you feel good, you know, like I said at the start, we started doing these for to make ourselves feel good about ourselves, you know, because we're stuck in the house a long time, and when it's not nice weather, you know, now we're looking as though we're going to be in lockdown again, and the way things are going, it's not going to be as nice because we can't be in the garden because it's not as nice, the weather's not as nice anymore. So, you know, music's one of the things that keeps you through that, you know, and obviously talking to each other, because I think, you know, we've talked about this before, but men don't talk to each other enough, you know, and if they do talk to each other, it's all macho, testosterone, puff up the chest, and we need to be able to talk to each other. And the other thing we need to be able to do is listen to music to calm our souls.
Yeah, I've just been made an ambassador for a mental health charity called Tonic Music for Mental Health.
Nice one.
I raised some money for them. I've done a DJ set as well, and I had a football match. I'm a crazy football head, you know what I mean? And I organised a charity football match with a few professional footballers and musicians coming to raise some money, but the COVID kicked in. Yeah. And so that kind of brought it to an end, which hopefully we'll do it next year at some point. But I do understand the importance of the mental health. Yeah. So like I said, I was trying to say big up to Steph, Dawny Dawn, Ma Langen, Grandpa Langen, and all the Tonic Music for Mental Health.
Nice
So,
yeah. Send us the link and we'll put it on our Vinyl Vandals page.
Yeah,
definitely.
Okay. So Gangster Chronicles, Rodney Bionic.
Yeah.
Which is your favourite song on the album?
How's Life in London?
How's Life in London?
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely love that song. I remember it being on MTV back in the day. I recorded it on a VHS tape. I still got the tape.
What I would say though is the original Gangster Chronicles doesn't have that on.
Okay.
So the reissue has, I think.
Yeah. I'm going to go by the reissue then.
Say that, you know, my favourite one on there is always got to be Live Like the Other Half Do. I absolutely love that.
Okay. Money Mad?
I like Money Mad, but not as much as I like Live Like the Other Half Do. Okay. Yeah, I just love the lyrics between Rodney and Bionic, you know, equally. I just love what they're saying, especially probably a bit more Bionics on that one. Just about walking along shopping with his girlfriend and the police come and pull him over, and you can relate to it, and you're hearing it still now. You know, when we're talking about stuff in America, and we're talking about stuff here, when we're talking about the, you know, sometimes the sort of kind of I'm going to say all police, but quite a few police, you know, overstepping the mark. You can hear that, and obviously the lyrics, and that was back then. And it's still something, you know, it's still relevant now. You know, so it's just, you know, I just love the lyrics that he's saying, what he's chatting, you know, and obviously the slang and the swagger.
Yeah, definitely.
Just makes you feel proud because you know it's from here, and it's not a rehash of you know, like using all the words that the Americans use and talk about things that actually don't happen to us here. You know, yes, there are cousins or, you know, our relatives across there, but they have a different life experience. And when you're talking about life experience of walking. And even like talking about Radix and, you know, all of it, just instead of seeing the cops or, you know what I mean? Using stuff that we use, I just love all of that. I can relate. Okay. Yeah. Anything else?
I love Money Mad, me.
Money Mad?
Yeah. Money Mad. I've got a story about Money Mad, actually. Can you remember Club Africa up here, Fred?
Yeah.
But London Posse were on there. It was only a tiny little venue. There's about 50 or 60 people in, and they done Money Mad. And you know the lyric, to be a cutter, a dipper, a blagger, or a roughneck ragger, brandishing a dagger.
Yeah.
The whole crowd sang that back to Bionic, and his face was just like, I mean, 50-odd Geordies singing that back to you, and you think, and you're coming from down London, and you're thinking, how do these know this? And how, you know, his face was a picture. Honestly, it was amazing, really good.
Nice one. So we're coming to the end, but not quite.
Okay.
You've got an album out that you brought out. When was it? 2 years ago?
Last year.
Last year.
Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. Hold on. Oh, it's right here. Oh, I got it right next.
Nice.
I got it right next to me.
Yes.
Can you see
So,
that?
what's that you've got there? Is that the CD?
Yeah, I do have it on vinyl.
You do have it on vinyl?
Yeah, I do have it on vinyl.
Right, well, then we need to talk.
Yeah. Rough, rugged and smooth, it's called.
Okay.
Rough, rugged and smooth.
So, this is where you get a chance to sell yourself. We'll talk about the future.
Okay.
You brushed on some of it about your website and stuff, but can you explain to everybody your music, what's coming out, what that album from last year, what is it, where can people get a hold of it? Your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, all the good stuff, you sell yourself.
Okay. All right, let's try, because I really hate this part of it, man. I'm not a narcissist at all, man. It's hard talking about myself, man, but if you insist.
Definitely insist, because I'll need to know where I can get it from.
Well, look out for the album, Rough, Rugged and Smooth. This was produced in Germany, and we recorded it in Germany, and I mixed it in England. And the producer is a guy named DJ Suro, so I got to say enough respect to DJ Suro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's my brother, you know what I mean, from Hamburg City, you know what I mean? I got to big up Henning, who done the crazy artwork. That's my brother as well, Typeholics. You know what I mean? These like, especially Henning. Henning's been my friend for like over 20 years.
Yeah.
Good friends, you know what I mean, in Hamburg City. So big up my Hamburg family. Rough, Rugged and Smooth, that's out on Nice Up Records. Big up Shep Dog, you know what I mean? And you can catch that like Bandcamp and iTunes and Spotify and all these types of things.
Yeah.
I mean, you can hit them up directly for the vinyl if you need it. What else I was going to say? Yeah, check me on Seanie T on Facebook, Seanie T on Instagram, Seanie T on Twitter. I don't know what else to say, bro. Watch out for my new website. It's going to be launching next couple of weeks, called SeanieT.com. You can get some exclusive material. I've got many songs that ain't come out that's on there.
Cool.
You know what I mean? I don't even know.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think for me, just want to say to everybody, please, please, please buy the album of Seanie T. Don't go onto eBay or on the Discogs. No disrespect to them, but go straight to what you just said. Go to the nice
Get the artist.
So the artist gets some money and not some second-hand job. Put some money in the artist's pockets wherever you can. You know, even if it means a couple of quid extra. You know, it's only a pint. So if you're going to spend money on an album anyway, why not just help the artist out? I think it's important. We're laughing, but I think it's important. And I certainly will be doing it. And also, obviously, like Riddler said, we'll post that stuff up just so people know. You've helped us by doing this, so we'll definitely help you.
Yeah.
For people that don't know about your music, they can check you out. I was saying to some of the guys that up here that we're going to interview, and some say, I'm not sure who that is. And I'm saying, yes, you do. He's been on this album. He's been on that album. I know you've got that album. I know you've got that album. Oh, him. He's brilliant. So people do. You just need to be out there a bit more. And it's great that you've got your own album out, because I was over the moon when I heard that you brought your album out, because it's like, it's a recognition for you, because you've been a scene stealer on so many albums as well. And it's important that you have your time to shine as well. And I think it's great that you've done that. And just, the fact that you've took time to speak to us today, that's been brilliant.
No problem, no problem. I just want to say, look out for another little artist. His name's Rico.
Right.
He's new school. He's a new school artist. It's not the same boom bap style that we're coming from, but you've got to watch out for him. He's coming. He's got a whole project. It's called Endsville.
So that's not Rico. Is in Rico Dan, is it not?
No. He's a young guy. He's actually my son. So look out for him.
Okay. Cool.
You know what I mean? He's doing his thing, and he's just trying to get himself out there at the moment. I was going to say as well, watch out for the veteran thing. I've got some crazy remixes coming out. One from Bugs in the Attic, Daz IQ. I've got another remix from Wrong Tom. Yeah. And oh my gosh, they're going to kill me because I can't remember the name, man. I got some crazy remix, a dancehall remix, a drum and bass remix, and a mashup rate beat of like a dancehall kind of thing. You know what I mean? Really, really kind of cool.
Which brings us to my next question. If people want to get in touch with you, so for you to do remixes for them, is that an option?
Yeah, man. Just hit me, man. You can always find me on Facebook. Just send me a private message. You know.
Yeah. And what I will say about your Facebook is you're a funny guy. You keep me hooted with some of your jokes. He's well worth following. Some of them's close to the knuckle mind.
Well, definitely.
He's a funny geezer. He has me chuckling from time to time. Yeah. So check him out on Facebook because he catches plenty of jokes. Yeah.
You know what? I got to say one thing on a big up Don Sinclair platform. That's a straight dance or reggae thing. I interview a lot of veteran reggae artists like Ken Booth, Ika Mouse, Little John, so many, and we do a lot of sound clashes on there. So that's just Never Feel. That's my original. That's where my heart is.
Okay, cool.
You know what I mean? So check that out. Don Sinclair Reggae Vibes on the YouTube.
Okay, nice one. All right, Riddler's anything you say before we go? Because I was just going to round it up afterwards.
I want to say. Oh, I thought you were talking to me. Sorry, bro.
No, I'll come back to you. Come on, Riddler.
I just want to thank Seanie for speaking real talk, basically.
Yeah.
Realness. You know, it's obviously it's hard for you talking about your friend Ty like that, and thanks very much for doing that.
Definitely. What were you going to say, Seanie?
I just want to say enough respect to both of you, King Fred, Rids, for reaching out.
Yeah.
You know, I never take nothing for granted.
Yeah.
You know, in life. You know what I mean? And anybody that reaches out to me, I really have a true appreciation for that. You know what I mean? I don't run around saying, "Look at me." I'm not that type of person. So for you to look at me, I really got to say enough respect, enough love. You know, I appreciate the work that you're putting in.
Thank you. Again,
thanks to you.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks for entertaining us. Thanks for being a scene stealer on so many albums. Cause I'm always, and it made me want to check you out, which brought me to, you know, obviously Black Nipton 7 to Dark Horizon, from being on Roots Manuva, for being on Blak Twang's album, you know, two rappers that I really hold up highly, and then you're on there. And if they trust you to be on their album, then obviously there's something about you, you know. Same for Karl Hinds as well. I'm trying to get him on here as well if I can. Because I'm just trying to get
Karl Hinds my cousin. So
right. I didn't know that.
I can make that. I'd make that happen.
He said he'll do it. I just need to get it. Just get the date and the time and get it in. But I didn't know he was your cousin. That's even better. That's even, you know, that's great. Like I say, we started these for people's mental health. We're strong champions of it. We believe in it. We've talked about me, Michael, and John and Julie have talked about it a lot. You know, recently there's a young person that Michael knows who took his own life, a young man. And obviously the work that I do and some of the stuff that's also happened to me over there, like I said, my mom passed away. This stuff's real and we need to talk about it. And, you know, the more that we do talk to each other, even if it's just about music, but we're all talking, and then people know that they can come and talk to each other and know that they can trust each other. And I hope by people listening to this, they're hearing not just the stuff about the music because they're hip-hop fans. And I know that some of my friends have been tuning in just because they want to hear us talking, because they're interested. They're not hip-hop fans. They don't know anything about who we're talking about, but it's made them also go and check some stuff out. So when the stuff happened with Ty, some of my friends who don't like this kind of music went and checked some of Ty's stuff out and come back to me and said, actually, I'm buying that album because I really like it. I didn't realize I would, and I really like it. And I think that's what it's about. Let's spread the word. Let's talk. Okay? Remember the Vinyl Vandals. We're friends. The Vinyl Vandals. We're just friends. When, you know, we're not. It's nothing majorly serious. We have a radio show every Monday night that Riddler DJs on, which is every Monday night on Try Radio, which is hosted by Mix LR. And soon, me and John, another quarter of the Vinyl Vandals, we're going to be doing sort of like a once a month mix thing where the first one we're going to launch is 10 years ago. Me and a few of my friends at the time brought out a series of albums called Keep the Faith. The first one was called Northeast Bangers Volume 1. That came out 10 years ago this year. We should have celebrated it earlier on, but COVID hit, so just let it go. But we're going to celebrate it by doing a mix of some of those Geordie hip-hop, Geordie and Sunderland and Middlesbrough hip-hop, and some places in between, but Northeast hip-hop and some soul hip-hop, like sort of like R&B stuff as well, which was the first album. So watch out for that. You know, people get a shock. If you didn't know that Geordies can rap, they definitely can. And just if you want to be on the show, it's not always about the major players. So yeah, you don't have to have an album out. You know, Riddler's been on. I've been interviewed by Riddler and James, one of our friends. If you want to come on and just talk about what hip hop means to you and the albums that are important to you from UK or the USA, come on here and talk to us. It's just about talking. It doesn't have to be all the mega stars, although that's great as well. Yeah. Watch out. We've got other people coming up. I know by the time this comes out, we'll have already showed the Outlaw Posse, which we're premiering on Friday. So that's going to be shown on Friday. We've got hopefully Blak Twang going to get interviewed soon. Hopefully Karl Hinds getting interviewed soon. And we've also got none other than Blade coming in a week's time as well. So, you know, we're in some good company. They've got some time to speak to us. So you please just take some time to listen to us. That's all from me.
Okay.
So goodbye, everybody. And peace.
Okay. Yeah. Newcastle.
Yes.
Why, man?
Aye. Aye.
Take care. Cheers.
You, Seanie T. Thanks.
Respect.